In order for the US to have a chance, it must spend. And in order to do so, it needs the world's most powerful bank to stay out of the way. With Kevin Warsh appointed as chair, the Federal Reserve has been demoted from inflation disciplinarian to accommodation partner. You see, for the past 45 years, the Fed ran one playbook. Inflation meant the economy was running too hot, too much money chasing too few goods. And the cure was always the same: raise interest rates, cool demand, and accept the recession that came with it. Paul Volcker wrote that playbook in the early 1980s. Driving rates to nearly 20% and putting millions out of work to break double-digit inflation. Every chair since has run the same logic. Jerome Powell ran it last, hiking faster than anyone since Volcker to crush the post-COVID spike. The entire framework runs on one assumption: that inflation is a demand problem that the Fed can fix by slowing the economy down. But that assumption just stopped being true. This time, prices aren't climbing because consumers are overspending. They're climbing from energy shocks, tariffs, and several trillion-dollar deficits. Supply and fiscal forces sitting completely outside the Fed's reach. Rising rates can't add a barrel of oil or repeal a tariff. All it can do is choke the economy that has to carry the spending. But the real reason the Fed has to stay out of the way is the one thing this whole story has been building to. The United States needs to spend on the AI build-out, on the industrial base, on staying ahead of China, and it needs to spend faster than the debt compounds against it. A Fed that hikes into that spending doesn't only risk a recession, it loses the race. So here's how it goes down. With the Fed stepping back, the Treasury takes the wheel. It funds the spending with short-term debt and leans on a captive base of buyers, money market funds, banks, even stablecoins that have to keep buying. That holds borrowing costs down while spending runs. And then the real trick: they let inflation run hotter than the interest they're paying. Every year inflation comes in above the rate of the debt quietly shrinks in real terms. The bill gets paid down by inflation instead of by you getting a raise. None of it works unless one thing comes true: the AI build-out has to pay off. Real growth, real productivity, before the spending buries them. That's the bet. The whole regime is a wager that the future shows up on time. And if it doesn't, the same machine that bought the time becomes the thing that breaks.